Welcome back, everyone, to Geeks R Sexy. It is time for our panel discussion. We brought back Michelle Leith and Jenny Fay. We're going to talk about some broader topics. We let them talk about their businesses and organizations. We're going to talk about a little broader topics here, as we like to do in the panel discussion, and get that perspective of, again, coming back to what does it take to be successful in Las Vegas, whether you're the city director for a nonprofit trying to help people in the sex worker industry or you're a mortgage lender. So I always try to draw themes between what the guests do. This one was very challenging. However, I think I was able to do it. You're both in the business of helping people make big changes in their lives, just in different ways. Mm-hmm. Just stick with me on this question, okay? The people you're helping don't always want help or aren't willing to listen. How do you approach helping people when they aren't always thinking about acting in their own best interest? Because that's something I run into all the time. I ran into it in the Air Force. Mm-hmm. Human beings are emotional. They make a lot of decisions based on emotion. They don't always act in their own best interests. Jenny, how do you do that with Cupcake Girls? How do you help people who aren't always interested in acting in their own best interest for whatever reason?
Mm-hmm. One of the things that we try to do, like I mentioned earlier, is we try to ask good questions, because we really feel like if we can ask questions, that can help us understand where this person is coming from. But sometimes that gives them the opportunity to have an aha of what about what they really want, where they really want to go, and then we can start heading there. But also we realize, especially for our clients, a lot of our clients have experienced trauma. When extreme trauma happens to someone, that fight, or freeze part of the brain gets overdeveloped, and the long-term thriving part of the brain gets underdeveloped. So they're just thinking about surviving. They're not thinking about thriving. Right. So also what it takes is for us to sit well with people, recognizing that they may not be ready to do something with this information right now. They may not be ready to make a healthy choice right now. We're still going to be there. We're still going to sit well with them and know where they want to go, keep asking the questions, keep letting them know that we're here, but ultimately it's up to them.
And you guys are in a position where you can be patient.
Yeah.
You can be patient. You can let people figure it out for themselves. Michelle, in your business, there are deadlines, there are closings, there are people want their money when they want it. How do you work with some of your clients? How do you help nudge them in the direction of what's in their best interest versus the short-term choice that might make them feel good today?
Same thing. We ask questions, and sometimes throughout the buying process, borrowers experience buyer's remorse, or they get nervous, or can I make these mortgage payments even though we fully qualified them? So again, I try to direct them back to what their goals were. What are your goals? What are you looking for? What are you trying to achieve? And I try to narrow it back down. I had this experience recently. Borrower wanted a bigger house, needed more space, and then
or less stuff,
exactly. But he wanted to keep his stuff, so he kind of got nervous about the new mortgage payment because it's a bigger house with a bigger mortgage than what he was used to. So again, I asked him, do you really like this house? Because I really want them to be comfortable. And he's like, I love this house. I'm like, do you think you're going to find it later on if you wait a little bit? He's like, no. Do you think you'll have the same terms or the same purchase price? He's like, no. So he sort of made peace with it. And he could see that the benefits outweighed the fear, So I kind of, coach them as to, what are your goals? And this is a way to do it, or you can procrastinate. It's kind of up to you. But above all, I want them to be comfortable, because this is a choice that they make. It's not an absolute need.
Yeah. And that brings me to a question that we didn't really talk about is, what do you do when someone's goals far exceed their capacity at this point, i.e. I've got champagne taste on a light beer budget for a new home buyer, or for a home buyer in general?
Basically, again, same thing. I ask them questions, and I tell them these are the numbers, and then I also give them real life experience. If you wanted this house that costs X amount of dollars, this is what your mortgage payment would be. Are you comfortable with that?
Right, well, and what are you paying now, right?
Exactly. Is there going to be a payment shock?
This is $400 a month more than what you're paying now for your mortgage or what you're paying now for your rent. Are you okay with that?
Exactly. And most times when they want to buy, that payment is more than $400. Sometimes it's double.
Oh, certainly.
And I ask them, are you comfortable?
But the rain is not, now we're back.
Okay. I guess we were gone, and I guess we're back. So we were talking about, just summarizing real quick, when you've got someone whose goals exceeds their capacity, you kind of just show them how much that is, and then you kind of say, is this the, I'm not trying to lean you one way or the other. I'm just asking you if this is the choice you want to make.
Exactly. And questions are a lot, and sometimes they'll come to their, own conclusions if they're open to being coached. I like to say being coached because I don't want to tell people what to do, but I want to coach them into making good decisions. And I give them options, based on this is what you can qualify now. This is what what you would like. The two won't meet.
And again, going back to our themes of helping people change their lives, we don't want to put them in that house with that higher payment and then have them lose that house in a year, right?
And that's what I also tell them. I tell them, we want you to be a successful homeowner, not one with big dreams and then reality sets in and then they can't make their payments or they're nervous or whatever. Do they want to change their lifestyle so much? Whatever. So our main goal, part of the whole qualifying process, is to make sure that they are successful homeowners.
Awesome. So we talk a lot about challenges here, how to overcome challenges, how to face challenges. What's a challenge that you faced that kind of wouldn't go away? And it may still be a challenge, but how do you tackle that, or how did you tackle that?
So for us at the Cupcake Girls, one of the challenges that I think we constantly face is the challenge of resources that we have versus what we want to be able to do.
Just talk about that.
Yes, there's a difference sometimes. And for us, our resources are our three main drivers to be able to care for our clients. And that's our volunteers, our partners, and our donors. And so one of the things that we've realized is it's not necessarily up to us to just get frustrated about where we are, but it's time for us to look and say, what do we need and how do we get out there and do it? And then we talk with our current team and activate them and say, who do you know who can help with this? Who do you know who can help with that? Just today, we realized that we've had some clients who need some help with their car, like mechanic stuff. It's really expensive. We've already had some clients get severely taken advantage of when they go to a shop. So we just put it out there to our volunteers and said, hey, would you be willing to just ask your mechanic if they'd be interested in partnering with us? So we try to really link into the relationships that we already have and leverage those to move forward our mission to help our clients.
And then you're going to have the exact same conversation next month, right? Or next week. Or...
Yep. Only it won't be about a mechanic. It'll be about a dentist, or it'll be about whatever. And that's okay. Just coming to grips with that tension of we're always going to be striving for the next thing, but life would be kind of boring if you weren't always going after.
It's okay to be pushing that rock up the hill constantly as long as you know this is the choice I'm making.
Yes.
This is it'll be a different rock next week.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
What about you? What's a challenge that you have faced multiple times or continued to face, and how did you tackle it?
Well, in my business, every loan, every transaction is different. We may have our lending guidelines, and that kind of keeps us consistent, but each borrower is different. So every loan is a challenge. Every loan, there's going to be an obstacle to get over, or, the level of their experience, the borrower's experience is going to be different. So sometimes I spend a lot of time on, meeting with them, on the phone with them, sharing with them what is happening. And other borrowers, they know. So each loan, I tackle it as it's the first one I've ever done, because it is for them. It's maybe the first time we've ever worked together. So it's all about, providing what that customer or that borrower needs. And also our customers are also our realtors, same thing. Some realtors are real hands-on. Some realtors want to let you take over and complete the transaction and let me know when we go to closing. So it all depends on what, so it's being custom and working with that individual.
I think that's so great. And I was having a conversation with a client about being customer focused a couple of weeks ago. And I think that idea of looking at every single one of these loans, or every single every single interaction you have with someone being like the first time, that makes it, we're always, when we deal with something for the first time, we're kind of listening and we're looking and we're trying to understand, hopefully, and not everybody, but it's fresh, and so we need to treat it as that. We're a little more open, we're a little more cautious, and trying to maintain that will help us keep our customer focused and remember who we're really looking out for and what we're trying to do. I think that's so great. I'm going to try to incorporate some of that into my conversations of let's approach this as if this was the first time you were ever doing this. So, well, you guys both have teams around you. You have to have a team to be successful. Very few people can get to where they're at and really be successful all by themselves, although it does happen. What have you done to build a team around you? What have you learned by building a team around you?
So I've learned a lot about the power of relationship. So when I am building a team, I think about what do I need on my team? What are the specific things that I need, whether it's tasks that I need accomplished or things that I need to be thought about. And then I start with my own life and I think, who do I know who does this and that I like who does this? Because when I'm building a team, I want people around me that I really like and that like each other. I want us to like hanging out even beyond just the task that we're doing. And I feel like if I can get people that I like who can do the things that I need done, then I just drop them into that spot where their skills match up, their gifts and their abilities and their desires match up. They're going to kill it. We're going to have fun together. And that's what we've seen with our team with Cupcake Girls. That's
really great. I did get the sense when I came to visit you guys a few months ago that it is a very fun and warm environment. I think that's really important for what it is you're trying to do. If it's sterile and clinical and bureaucratic, you're probably going to have a hard time helping the people you're looking to help.
We want people to feel welcome.
So, and you do. I felt very well. I mean, I was the only one there that day, but I did feel very welcome. It was very warm when I went. So if you're thinking about going to see them, I felt very welcome and warm just coming in to sit down and talk about what they do. So how about you, Michelle? Tell us about the team you have around you and what you've learned.
I'm really fortunate because Planet has provided me with a team. So I didn't have to go out and search. They've done the search for me, and they have provided me with amazing people who are highly skilled at what they do, and they know what their roles are. And so as I go out and meet people and build relationships out in the community, I know that the work behind the scenes is getting done. The loans are getting done. Customers are being taken care of. They're being contacted on a regular basis. And we're going to meet our deadlines. So that's the best part, and I learned that you really have to listen to your team. And I tend to be a type A personality. So what's really hard is asking for help of your team, and then you'll know whether they know it or they don't. And if they don't, that's fine, because then okay, this is something we need to work on, or let's get creative here. And so it's working together and asking for help and finding our weaknesses and strengths, and really, and above all, though, I can't do my job without my team.
Absolutely.
I just cannot do it.
Absolutely.
And
that's the, there are pros and cons to building your own team and pros and cons to having a team handed to you. And I did both in the Air Force. I've done both with this business. But when you have a team handed to you, a lot of times you get people who are real pros at what they do, but they've got their own way of thinking about things, their own way of viewing the world. And if you're trying to view every loan you do as the first time you do it, you might have to enroll them in that vision a little bit. But guys, let's think about this as the first time we're doing it. And so sometimes that comes with some inertia when you're working with a team of pros who've been doing something for a long time.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for being here today, Michelle, Jenny. We're just about out of time, but Jenny, tell everyone where they can reach the Cupcake Girls.
So we can be found at www.thecupcakegirls.org. You can find out information, how you can donate, how you can get involved, how you can become a volunteer. I would love to hear from you. Love to talk with you more about how you can be part of our team.
Yeah, you guys have no shortage of space for people to come and volunteer. And even if you are looking to just kind of affiliate volunteer, like if you're a mechanic, or I think you said you were looking for dentists the last time we talked. Anybody else?
Counselors, doctors, anyone who has a service.
Tax help, right?
Tax help, budget coaches, HR like
HR?
coaches, things like that.
I have some people for you.
Perfect.
So, and Michelle, how can everybody reach you when they are looking to buy that home in 2019?
They can reach me at directly at 702-767-8174. They can shoot me an email at mleaf@planethomelending.com.
And we'll have all that up in the show notes so they won't have to try to remember it or write it down or spell it in their browser while they're listening. So thank you for being here today with Jenny and Michelle and myself. Last Thursday of December, I don't know what the day is. I look it up. You'll figure it out. Join us again. I don't know who the guest will be. We'll have somebody just as great as these two guests here, and we will see you in about a month. I'm Jason LeDuc from Evil Genius Leadership Consultants. This is Geeks R Sexy. The future is out there. Lead the way.